there YouTube, Barnard Racing here. In our last video, we did a review of this vibratory polishing tumbler right here using this Jeweler's Rouge Impregnated crushed walnut shell media. And we tested it on aluminum, where we found it didn't do a whole lot. We tested it on brass, where we discovered it actually polished up the brass really very nicely. In a comment to that video, one of our subscribers, MDO8, asked us how come we didn't do a review of this media using some rusty parts. And the quick answer was, well, we tried that with those plastic resin pyramids, and that seemed to work pretty good on rust. But he'd like to see what this stuff does on rusty parts, and one of the things we are not short of around this shop is rusty parts. So what I'm going to do is I have a couple of rusty bolts here, fresh off of the Stealth. One of them is going to go into the tumbler, and the other one is going to stay here as a control group. And we're going to run this for an hour or so and see what this does to rust. So we'll just put the top on. And turn it on. So here we are, it's an hour later. One of these two bolts has just spent an hour tumbling in the Jeweler's Rouge Impregnated walnut shell. Is it this one, or is it this one? Well, if you guessed the one on the right, you're wrong. It's this one right here. You can just make out that a little bit of the rust has been knocked off the side of the bolt head. There's a little bit of cleanup around the threads, but for all intents and purposes, it's still rusty. And to make matters worse, when it came out of the tumbler, the Jeweler's Rouge powder was embedded in the rust spots in the rust. So it took me 5 minutes of wiping it down with a brush and hitting it with an air blaster and wiping it off in the solvent tank and what have you to get all the Jeweler's Rouge off of it. So that's a bust. If you want to take rust off using the vibratory tumbler, the plastic resin pyramids are the way to go. M28, there's your answer. If you're a subscriber or you're a Patreon supporter, if you have any questions, just hit me up and I'll do what I can. Thanks for watching.
Stop it, please. Don't hit me. Please. Don't hit me.
Come on, man, quit that.